thing. With the thing. And hopefully it goes live. Yes, indeed. Grrrrr. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back. It's been too long. Yes, it has. Bear's been out for just a little bit, but good to have you back here. Yes, indeed. I'm try and have a fun show for you here today. Had to start just a little bit early. I got some stuff going on here, but that's all right. We're here. We're going to do it live, even if it's going to be just a tad, just a touch, a little bit early. So, want to send a shout out. Oh, I've already got some chats here. I didn't see this earlier. Let's see. Oh, P-Money. P-Money's already here. He says, I'll be there, but I might be a little late, but I'll come. Yes, indeed. Even though I'm sure you'll make fun of me for the NHL. Well, that might be a special segment later on. Yes, indeed. Bear's a huge Bolts fan, so there you go. But that's all sports ball. That's another talk for another time. But you know what? Actually, just kind of getting into it real quickly, Bear. Kind of sees some of the commercials on TV out there where they've got the what's it called, the Peloton, like the bicycle that they ride, or I think it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird. I've seen them running as well, so I don't know. It's a treadmill, a bike, weightlifting. I don't know what the heck the Peloton thing is there, but you know what? They've got the I don't know what they call those people, like the hosts, I suppose, the trainers, I guess, and they're all out there, and every single one of them is like, you need to run faster, you need to do this, you're so stupid, you're so fat, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you've got your very own, like, drill instructor there at home, and I guess you kind of go riding along with them, or running along with them, or weight training, or whatever the heck you're doing there with the Peloton thing, and you're sitting there running, and you know what, like all of them, they're like out there running ahead of you, or they're pedaling their bike faster, you're trying to go down the course or whatever, and of course you want to keep up with the people, so that's why they're you're so fat, you're so lazy, blah blah blah, how dare you, blah, blah. They do that, but what they really need, instead of like following the trainer, they actually need to be like running from the trainer. So actually Bear's kind of thinking about, scrapping this entire YouTube thing and just kind of go ahead and become a Peloton trainer and, be out there and, you don't have to finish first place, but you definitely don't want to end up in last place with Bear. Because, he'll be out there kind of like chasing you from the bike or chasing you on foot or something like that. And you're like, I gotta run from Bear. It's like, Grrrr. I think that would get the heart rate up for people. I think that would kind of motivate people a little bit off of the couch there to, get out and get running and everything, or get cycling, however it works out. I don't know. The Peloton thing is kind of weird, but there you go. I think maybe becoming a Peloton trainer, I think that might be a future for Bear there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, there we go. P-Money says, hello, Bear Boy. It's been forever. Yes, it has. Since hockey was last played, it's not like Canada lost little ago or anything like that. Well, P-Money, I tell you what, I mean, it's a comics-related channel here. A lot of people, with a sports ball, while you're talking about the sports ball, Bear. Well, you know what? Because he's actually, a little bit of a fan there. So, Bear's got, he really only has one word for P-Money here for the Bolts winning, and that's, let's see, it's, let me try and think here. It's, okay, yeah, it's, woo! Woo! 2 times, baby, 2 times. That's right. It's Tampa Bay. Yes, indeed. Finally, after since last season, we get to win the cup again. So, you know what? I don't know if it really traveled the world or anything. I probably should have just stayed in Tampa Bay there. So, yeah, we finally got it. Finally won, defeated the evil Canadians. That's right. Florida wins. Forget about the USA. It was Florida versus Canada. Florida won. I mean, took home their trophy from the Canadians. I mean, took it away from them. Just kind of reached in there and grabbed it out of their hands there. They thought they had it, but they didn't. They didn't have it at all. let's see. He says, oh, an interesting fact of the 36 Tampa Bay players, 18 of them are Canadians. Yes, indeed. And no, I'm not saying that out of being bitter or anything like that. In fact, I think a lot of them, let's see, I think Joseph Killorn, who's actually an American player, there was a couple from the Montreal area. I don't think Stamkos was from there. I think he was from like the Toronto area, if I'm not mistaken. So, anyways, that's the deal. That was more than one word. Bear has little trouble sometimes with the English language, so let's just let that slide. Kind of like in a game up there in Montreal. You gotta let one slide there just so you can kind of come back home and kind of raise the banner in front of all your fans and family. I suppose it was a whole bunch of people. We weren't there last year. You know what? It's kind of funny that you win the championship on Canadian soil last year, then you win it again on your own home court, and nice to have some people out there cheering along for you. Actually, Patty Ice, oh God, I keep calling him Patty Ice. Patrick, anyways, he won the three of them there. So there you go. Gosh, Patrick Maroon. Golly, I tried. There we go. So he won 3. Everybody won 2. Except for let's see, it was Joseph. It was Savard. I tried to say his name like a pirate. Savard. And who was the other one? The game winner in Game 5. The Rook. I mean, we've got 3 people now that are on the cup that weren't there last year. So there we go. P Money says, "All right, that's enough. Back to comic book stuff. Why are you talking about hockey?" We've got to just rub it in, just a tad, just a touch. Bear wasn't around to kind of go through some of those games. So good. You know what? Just real quickly, P Money. Just real quickly. Bear kind of was watching a little bit of the stuff with the Canadian teams beforehand. Didn't really watch a whole lot during the season, so it was really kind of the playoff stuff. And, Montreal, they really surprised a lot of people out there, and kind of, it reminded Bear of Tampa Bay back, I think, 2015, 2016, back when they went to the Cup. Unfortunately lost that year against Chicago, a very good team. But, Tampa Bay kind of came up out of nowhere. A lot of young players, a lot of new players there. So, after that, I mean, they, except for one season, which we had a whole bunch of injuries, they weren't in the playoff track there, I suppose. But pretty much every year for the past, 5-6 years, have been in the hunt, been almost to the promised land there. I mean, lost a couple game 7s in the semifinals and whatnot there, but it's it kind of reminded Bear just a little bit of Tampa Bay a couple years back. So no, I think the Canadiens, a very good team in the coming up years. They got a bunch of great players there. Just need to get their system together just a little bit. But they're definitely going to be a threat. Probably should not have won Game 2. Game 2 was pretty much up in the air, and evidently they came out with it. So there you go. There's that. But no, they did a really good job. About that time of year, everybody's banged up anyways, so they probably had a bunch of players that were, pretty banged up and, didn't have the same experience that Tampa Bay did. But now they do. All they got to do is win it. Not anytime soon, I mean, but, they're probably going to have that experience kind of going forward and everything. So I think they're going to do all right in the next couple of years. They're definitely going to be one of the ones to look out for. What's the other one? What was the other one? The ones that have the same colors as Tampa Bay. Which one am I thinking of? Is it Toronto? I think it's Toronto, where they got all the superstars, but they didn't go anywhere. So, I think Montreal is a very good team. I mean, they went up against a couple great teams there, especially Vegas. So, anyways, Bear's talking all about the sports ball and everything. But there you go. 2 words. Bolts win. 3 words. Bolts win. A second, that would be 4 words. Bolts win again. There we go. All right, let's see. He says, "Yeah, I didn't think Montreal would be the team to make it to the finals. Well, they pretty much surprised everybody. So there you go. Whoever bet on that very early on is probably disappointed that they didn't go all the way. But I bet you they made their money's worth out of that. I bet you they did. So there we are. Anyways, enough of that. Enough of the hockey talk that we have going on here. Sometimes that's all right. Give it a couple more months. Oh God, Disney's taking it over, so I don't know if don't know what Bear's going to do this next season here. So, anyways, let me the thing for the thing here, because actually to get kind of started off here, gonna do something that Bear hardly ever does. Bear hardly ever does this, but actually got to give a shout out here. I give a shout out here to old Mike Miller. Finally got in. Let me see if I can get it here. 1 second. Click off of that. And nope, not that one. Where is it? There it is. Ah, there we go. Bear actually got some nice pieces of art the other day from waiting quite a while for the auction, but that's all right. Actually got some nice pieces here. I think they're called the thick chicks, if I'm not mistaken. So that was pretty cool. That actually came in with some other stuff that Bear got. Let's see. Maybe I can show it. Maybe I can show it here real quick. Let's see if we can find out. Actually went and took it to the, there's my mouse. Took it in to get it scanned. So actually won't be able to pick it up until Monday. Let me move this screen here so we can see it. But actually got some nice other pieces in there as well that came out really nice. Actually had kind of an issue there with a previous campaign. Some artwork actually from Kanan White, and never came in. So Bear's kind of talking with Mike about that. But you know what, Mike is doing a kind of a bang up job there, just trying to get the fulfillment, even though it was a little bit late. I mean, doing some good job with the fulfillment and all that good stuff. Let's see, what am I trying to do here? I am trying to get the thing with the thing. Bear with Bear for one. Let's see, did I load it? Did I load it up, or am I just thinking in my imagination? I am thinking in my imagination. So let me get that. Why is it? It should already be loaded. Well, anyways, bear with Bear for just a second. Anyways, got some actually nice, some really nice artwork in addition to the thick chicks over here. Some good stuff there. Let's see. It was the Gina Carano piece. I forget if it was a winner on Drawn and Quartered, but it was definitely a good piece. Let me see if I can bring it up here. There it is. There it is. Okay, and then you do the thing with the thing. And click off of that, and you click on there. There we are. So you got the neat little Cara Dune, I think is the character's name there, with little baby Yoda. Little baby Yoda there. Some really good stuff. Finally got that in. It took a little bit of while, but that's all right. Finally got that in. So scanning this in. I'm going to get that scanned in, so hopefully be able to get that on Monday. And also got some, what was this? Chun-Li, and I'm not sure who the other character is. Came in after Bear's fascination with Street Fighter. Not really sure the other character there. And, of course, Bear's holding it the wrong way. It should be sideways there. But some really nice pieces there from Mike Miller. Actually did the, you're watching actually the box open here, so Bear's doing that, playing around. Let me get to the, where am I? Where is the mouse? Oh, there it is. Playing around with a little bit of the HDR, so that's maybe why it's, I don't know if you guys can tell, a little on the reddish, maybe pinkish side there. Still kind of playing around with that just a little bit there. So anyways, got some nice pieces in, and hopefully getting another piece or two in the near future there. Literally just was emailing back and forth with Mike right before the show here. So, all right, let me get out of that. Anyways, this is the box open that Bear did. There he is. Grrrrr. Anyways, let me get out of that and go back to the thing with the thing, and you do the other thing, and you click off of that, and you go to the, there we are. There we are. Get rid of that so I can actually see some of the rest of the stuff here, because I'm going blind on all this stuff. All right. Click back over here. and you bring it back over, and you do the thing with the thing. All right, let's see. Oh, P-Money's in love here. Let's see. Oh yeah, speaking of Mike Miller, I'm glad you saw my wife's Lone Star Bear gift to Mike. Oh, let's see. Oh, well, was that the thing that Bear saw right before he left? I think. Gosh, what was it? Yeah, it was like a quick stream, and you were putting in. She drew something or something like that? I remember seeing the video, but I couldn't remember. Bear came in on it late, so he only saw like the last maybe 4 or 5 minutes or so. I think he had already opened the box, so I wasn't really sure what was in there. So sorry about that, people. I remember it was a drawing of some kind, I think, or was it just might have been just some Canadian related, maybe bacon or something like that. Not really sure, but yeah, I mean that's pretty cool, P-Money. That's pretty cool. Yes, it was a Gina Carano drawing with the baby Yoda there. So hopefully, Bear is going out and finally found a kind of professional scanner. Trying to. He can do the smaller stuff like you see on the screen here, but not some of the larger, what is that, 11 by 17 stuff. It just wouldn't. Bear tried to cram it into the dang printer, but just wouldn't work that way. So took it to a professional scanner. Going to try and see how that works. It was a stuffed bear dressed as Lone Star. No, I didn't see that. I need to go back. Bear needs to go back. Bear wishes he saw that. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Well, Mrs. P-Money, thank you very much. That made that actually made Bear's day. That's pretty cool. I'll have to go back and double check that. I thought it was some sort of drawing, but maybe Mike did that. I don't know. Anyways, that's pretty funny. I hope he had either some honey or some salmon in there with him. That would be nice. So anyways, where was Bear going with this? Anyways, scanning the stuff in, hopefully be able to put that into the video here. One of the things that Bear's trying to do is doing the HDR video, which is kind of a, I guess the best way to describe it. Why am I not talking on the thing? Let me do the thing where you can actually see me. Oops, no, not that one. There we go. There I am. So anyways, gosh, what was I talking about? P-Money says, I notice in your videos, your mouth barely moves. Amazing how you articulate without closing your mouth. Yes, indeed. It's actually it's a skill that Bear kind of came up with. Kind of like a ventriloquist almost, where you hear things, but the mouth isn't. Well, I guess the mouth is moving in the ventriloquist, but he's not really talking. At least he doesn't think. I mean, I don't know. Bear kind of. Okay, so like snakes, Bear is afraid of. There's a couple other things that Bear is afraid of. Ventriloquist dummies are like Bear kind of freaks out about ventriloquist dummies. I don't know really what's going on with that. Some sort of dark magic, I suppose. Not really sure, but I tell you what, ventriloquist. Anyway, so that would be the reason that he doesn't talk. Miguel, good to see you here. Trying to do a earlier show here, so good to have you here. Trying some different things out, so hey, good to have you here. Okay, long story short, Bear, gotta get back to the dang story here. So finally found a scanner that can be able to do some large artwork, so hopefully be able to scan some of that in and be able to show that to you guys, just maybe in a digital fashion, and then maybe at some point, Bear actually might like get up on YouTube or something like, not YouTube, what am I trying to say? eBay. Trying to get up on eBay sometime and maybe sell some pieces there. So, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Want to see how this goes first. Anyways, was trying to do the HDR videos. Gosh, I'm bouncing all around here. Trying to do the HDR videos, which is kind of a best way to describe it is kind of like you get the small box of crayons. That's kind of what you're looking at right now, is kind of a small box of crayons, and then you go to the HDR videos. And you've probably seen those in the Best Buys or the electronic stores around. You see the 4K HDR. Well, 4K, that's fine, whatever. The HDR is kind of like the big box of crayons. You want to go from the small, everybody wants that big box of crayons. So anyways, it gives a little bit more kind of color texture to it, and also detail, brightness, and all that sort of stuff. So, anyways, Bear's playing around with that. So, I wish we had the box opening up here earlier, but anyway, it's got some nice stuff here from Mike Miller. I think he called them the thick chicks, so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. In fact, you got the feet there on the one lady. I thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, some good stuff there, and hopefully he has some more stuff here. Hopefully shortly. All right, I have lost my place. Let's see, Mike's card. Yes, okay. All right, enough of that jibber jabber, because Bear's actually got some very important things to talk about here. Let me do the thing with the thing, because let me get this over so I can see the chats instead of just not seeing them. Here we are, and then you do the thing with the thing, and I'll leave that on there, but I'll take that off because I need the... Will it do it? No, it didn't do it. Why is it not doing it? There it goes. All right. I don't know. Sometimes OBS gives Bear a little bit of an issue there. So, all right. So we've got a number of updates that we have here. Just going to kind of run through them pretty quickly. Not a whole lot, but just kind of want to touch on them real quick. Let's see. Let me get to it. Not that one. There we go. All right. Dragon Guard, just really quickly. Finally got a little bit more information from Kevin here. Pardon Bear. He's going to take a drink. There we are. So anyways, talking about Dragon Guard, and finally getting some stuff here from Kevin Sharp. So let's see what he has to say. He says, hey, Dragon Guard fans. Ooh, that's me. First off, thanks for your patience. You guys are awesome, and I can't wait to get this book in your hands. Or claws. It's been my focus to make this amazing book. Yes. Progress. He says, I'm inking the last 7 pages of the books right now. I have 2 pages that need to be redrawn because of minor storytelling corrections. He says, colors. I have about 25 pages left, and the project is completing in late summer. Let's see. He says, Alonzo was sick. From the woo. Actually, we're going to... this is why Bear kind of claimed it as too hot for YouTube. We're actually going to kind of jump into that in a little bit here. But Alonzo was sick from the woo flu last month, and so we were slowed down just a little bit because of that. But he's been turning in some killer pages, and here's another 2 to check out. Plus, I'll be posting more art in the couple of days. There we go. So actually pretty nice. Whoa, that's pretty scary right there. Holy cow. There's another page. Would like to see this. I really hope. The colors are fine. There's nothing wrong with the colors or anything like that. But Bear would like to have seen the kind of a black and white. What do they call those? The the black and white version of Dragon Guard here. He does some amazing line work. So, and speaking of line work, holy cow, bubba. Anyway, some nice stuff there. I kind of like some of these panels. These are really cool. I guess what you'd call reaction shots a little bit. So that's pretty neat. You know, the guy's kind of got the stare there. I wonder what he's staring at. Wonder what he is staring at there. So anyways, there it is, Dragon Guard. I'd like to see it kind of in a black and white version, but there we go. Hopefully, let's see, he has 25 pages left to color. So it says the projected completion is late summer. So not really sure what late summer would kind of entail. Maybe August. I guess maybe September. It stays pretty summery here in Florida, so could go into November. Who knows? But hopefully be able to get that in our hands, in our claws here pretty soon. Pretty soon indeed. All right, let's get rid of that, because we're going to move on to 499. 499. Still waiting on this, so maybe this might be a kind of a update for Bear here. Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, he always has the kind of interesting bolds. Bear never really understands how to read some of his stuff. Should he, hi everyone? I'm not really sure, so just going to read this normally, but he does kind of have the weird, I wonder if it just kind of randomly picks stuff that bolds. I'm not sure. Hi everyone, Narwhal is almost done with fulfillment for the 499 graphic novel and 499 POD, payment on delivery bundles. The Nar Zach 4-pack fulfillment is waiting on the printing of Impossible Stars. Ah, come on. Which had it just had its print file completed yesterday, and that was on the 7th, so a couple days ago. I'll give an update when the Narzak 4-pack is about to be fulfilled. Thanks, Richard. And that'd be your boy Zach. So, yeah, some neat stuff there. Megaton. And then the 499 Club. So, Bear actually looking forward to that. By the way, they actually also have Narwhal actually has Earthbound 2, one of Bear's favorite books past couple years. Probably the one of the top books that he's seen in the past couple, at least the past year or two. Earthbound. He's doing the Indiegogo on that, so check that out. He just kind of had a very brief check out my book link email, so it wasn't really anything to look at or anything like that. But the campaign page is really nice. A lot of great artwork and colors and stuff like that there. So definitely check out Earthbound 2. There we go. Let's see. Speaking of your boy Zach, Expendables T-shirts are mailed out. Still waiting on the Expendables. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Beer got the I think it was the Billy Tucci cover. I don't think there was that many that ordered that, so maybe they're still waiting on the cover. I don't know. Hi everyone, just mailed out about 200 T-shirts to backers. These are for people who back the T-shirt by itself, as well as the perk that include the T-shirt, the book, the pinup, and the pinup. The rules for media mail in the U.S. and VAT expectations in the U.S. require that the book shipments primarily include the book, along with all the promotional materials. So the T-shirts need to be mailed separately. I tell you what, I have a few extra that will go to the creative team, and then I'll hold on to some more in case anyone needs replacements. Thanks, Richard. I hope he has a replacement for the extra large that Bear requires. Yes, indeed. Actually, never got the T-shirts. There you go. But they do have a T-shirt on the Earthbound campaign, so do check that out. Let's see. Old Miguel says there are many people in GC. Do you plan to do some collaboration stream parody or some fun propaganda for a comic? Oh, well, hadn't really considered that, Miguel. Hadn't really considered that. Beer will always collaborate with anybody. If anybody wants to, get the different perspective that a bear might bring to the table, yeah, he would do that. Bear kind of fancies himself as kind of a writer, I suppose. So yeah, if you got something that you want to have checked out or something like that, let me just go ahead and tell you right away. Whatever you're writing, it's terrible and it needs a rewrite anyways. So that'll save us at least a little bit of time there. Bear kids. It's always you need a rewrite. So, anyways, but yeah, I would always do a Bear. It was kind of tongue in cheek. Bear would kind of be talking with Nighthawk Warrior in Gary Shipman's live stream channel. I think when he finished the first Titan book, he would always make fun with Nighthawk, saying that the next book was the story of Bear that Gary was going to do. So always was waiting on the Gary Shipman story of Bear. Never really came out. I hope he's working on that on the next book there. So, no, anyways, Bear will work just about with anybody there. So, yeah, drop Bear a line. Still need to, I need to figure out how to do that. You can probably just drop it in the in one of the videos. Bear will respond. I need to get the Discord. I need to get that Discord going, and maybe been looking into the other ones. They got the MeWe. I don't want to do that. We got a couple of the other ones there as well. Maybe check out Gab. Not really sure. There's another one as well. What was the other one? The one that got taken down a while back. I think got brought back up. I forget the name of it. Anyways, maybe think about doing something like that, but it's not one of Bear's priorities there. So let's see. P-Money says, you boy Zach has how many campaigns to fulfill at this point? I don't know. Let's see. I'm not. Let's see. Expendables, 499. I don't know if is it how you pronounce that? Pandemic. Bear didn't get that, but I'm sure that's still out. Saw something just recently. It was another Jawbreakers book. It was one of the characters. I forget which one. The one with the knife hands. Is his name Knife Hand? It probably is named Knife Hand anyways. So the guy with the knife hands, he has a book coming out. So yeah, a whole bunch. But hey, when you've successfully fulfilled one of the things that Bear was going to, he was going to try and mention, and then says, don't need to talk about that. Was the Cyber Frog, I forget how you call it, the action figures. The toy collection that's out there says, check this out. And yeah, $40 for an action figure. All the best to Uncle E. Wish him all the best. And, there's people out there that collect that sort of thing or just kind of have fun with that sort of thing. Hey, all the best. But yeah, $40 for an action figure. I'm not sure if Bear's going to, plus the shipping. Who knows how much the shipping is? Probably a $60 thing right there. So, yeah, that might be a little much. I was gonna talk about it, but I don't know. It's not really comic related, I suppose. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, you can put a whole bunch out there if you fulfill your campaign here. So let's see, did I get all of them? Oh, in Titan, Gary does this thing where I forget what number this is. This is probably update number 532 so far. Seems like every 5% fulfilled, he sends out an email there. But anyways, Titan book 2, 40% fulfilled. Blah. Let me take a drink. Golly, I tell you what. 40% fulfilled. There we are. And there's still time to get out the word. So that's what Bear's doing. Word to get out. There you are. Titan Mouse of Might, number 2, 40%. Hopefully be able to get our claws on it here pretty shortly. Let's see. You should get a t-shirt. I really want to see a Bear wear it. I don't know. I might check out the Earthbound t-shirts. The only t-shirt that Bear has actually gotten off of the Comics Gate was the Graveyard Shift. Either got two or one of those, but yeah. Anyways, so that would be adding to the collection there. Oh, Gary Shipman, Bear of Might comic. There we go, a Bear of Might. I like that. I was gonna do the story of Bear, but Bear of Might. Let's see, trying to think of something Bear related. Let's see, Bear. I don't know. We'll have to work on that. Me and Gary, we'll just put our heads together and we'll work on that. All right. Let me get to the main thing that we're actually going to talk about here, because it has absolutely nothing to do with comics. So that's why Bear is actually going to talk about it. No, seriously. I was reading some different articles over the break here that Bear had, and one of them. P-Money says, oh, wow, to Canada shipping is $20. That's not bad for international shipping, but $40 for the figure. I'm surprised it's only $20. I would have figured $20 for, just inside the continental U.S. there. All right, well, there you go. We're breaking some news here. It's $20 for the international shipping for the Cyber Frog. I don't know what you'd call that. Action figure. Toy, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Anyways, all the best, just not one of Bear's things. There you go. There you are. All right, where am I? Okay, so they actually had YouTube taking out some different people that were trying to talk about the Woo flu out there. So, one of the things Bear wanted to check out was like, what can you say and what can't you say here on YouTube? I mean, Bear kind of was one of the early people to talk about it in Comicsgate, just kind of dealing with shipping issues, which, now was it supply chain disruption is kind of a way of life now. But early on, we were trying to figure out, okay, how are they going to get them out of China over here if there's some sort of quarantine or something like that going on? So, a lot of the stuff Bear kind of had to dance around here. Yeah, again, it's just a comic channel here. We're not not dispensing medical advice. Why would you take medical advice from a bear to begin with? I don't know, but anyway, so we're going to go through what it is, the Wu Flu medical misinformation policy of YouTube, and kind of figure out what we can say and maybe what we can't say. And I tell you what, I tell you, it might get bear struck, but hey, we're just talking about discussions of things. We're not actually trying to go in and say you should do this or you shouldn't do that. If you've got a doctor or anything like that, please listen to the medical advice of your doctor or local people out there. We're just generally discussing stuff here on basically a YouTube stuff here. So let's see. Oh, wow, Canada's shipping. Oh, okay, I already read that. So let's get into it. Hopefully we won't lose too many viewers here, but that's all right. We're going to get to it regardless. All right, let's go. Let me get a drink here first. I'd hate to have like a scratchy throat talking about the Wu flu and oh my God, we need to quarantine bear here. So P-Money says, well, I take comic advice from a bear. Is medical advice that much of a stretch? Well, you wouldn't take a dog to a doctor. And you wouldn't take a person to a vet. Yeah, maybe unless you're, in the mafia or something like that and trying to get a bullet taken out of you or something like that. But do not take medical advice from a bear. That's the first thing that we got to say right off the top here. All right. YouTube doesn't allow content about the Wu-Fu that poses a serious risk of egregious harm. Well, we're not going to be doing that. YouTube doesn't allow content that spreads medical misinformation that contradicts local health authorities or the World Health Organization. Now, okay, second sentence in. I don't want to... P-Money, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep bringing this back to hockey here, but if we saw just recently, we had our local medical authorities here in Florida talking about what certain spectators can do in the stadiums. And then, of course, you had your local medical authorities there in Canada that said stuff that's completely different. So if you actually watch the Stanley Cup there, you could see them up there in Canada, and they had 20 people in the stadium. I'm not really sure how many people there, but it was a very small number. And then you go over to Florida, and I mean, they're stacked, butts to nuts out there. I think, let's see, it wasn't quite sold out. I think maybe like 100 or 200 less or something like that. But they packed them in. Hardly anybody was wearing a mask or anything like that. So, local health authorities vary from locality to locality there. So second sentence in, YouTube has already kind of got it a little twisted here. This is limited to content that contradicts WHO or local health authorities' guidance on treatment, prevention, diagnosis, transmission, and not the kind that you have in your car, social distancing and self-isolation guidelines, and the existence of the Wu flu. Well, I tell you what, I mean, if you were pretty early on talking about a strange virus coming out of the Wuhan province of China, you know what, that kind of gotten your, a little star on your channel there to kind of watch out for. So, we went from denying it to, you can't deny it. So anyways, there we are. It says, note, YouTube's policy on the Wu flu are subject to change in response to changes to global or local health authorities' guidance on the virus. So if you did like Bear and maybe had something contradictory on May 19th, there went your channel. But if you had that same information on May 21st, let's say, and it, went with those authorities or whatnot, you're all good. So it just kind of depends on how far ahead of the curve you are. So, for instance, Bear says, hey, May 1st, mask-free May 1st day. Let's just see what happens. What happened 2 weeks later? Everybody was taking their masks off. So Bear was ahead of the curve on that one. I mean, could have been thrown into YouTube jail for that, but there you go. What this policy means for you. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me see. Miguel says, 1.5% dead around the world. Yes, it's a pandemic, but please, I'm sorry, Miguel. I misread that. But he says it's not a deadly one. Well, I mean, it is deadly. Let's not get that. Let's not get Bears channel struck. We're going down the list here. We're not saying that it's not deadly here at Bears channel. Nothing like that. Just like Miguel was saying, kind of in proportion. Yeah. Early on, we were talking like 30% of people of fatalities. That was a lot. We were talking about millions of people passing, multiple millions. It helps to have that in perspective. All right. So if we are posting content, let me make this a little bit bigger. Here we go. Let's see what this policy means for you. If you're posting content like Bear is doing right now, don't post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following. So here we go. Treatment misinformation. Content that encourage the use of home remedies, prayer, rituals in place of medical treatment, such as consulting a doctor or going to a hospital. Number 1, consult your doctor. Number 2, if you're sick, go to the hospital, please. But what the hospital is going to do, at least around here, is going to say, okay, thank you, sir, madam. Please go home. Please self-isolate yourself for, 2 to 3 weeks? And hopefully you'll turn out better. And if you're not, come back to the hospital and we'll do some more treatments for you. Well, if you're sitting around home for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or something like that, what's wrong with prayer? What's wrong with prayer? What's wrong with a home remedy? Let's say you've got a grandma's chicken noodle soup or something like that, and that kind of helps the throat or something like that. Why not have a home remedy like that? Why not prayer? That's nothing wrong with that. We're not saying it's going to cure it. We're not saying it's going to prevent it or anything like that, but I think you should be able to say, hey, gosh, we pray for so and so out there with the Wu flu. We hope they get better. I think that's fine. I hope Bear doesn't get struck for that. Number 2, content that claims that there's a guaranteed cure for the Wu flu. Well, what is the vaccine? Bear's just asking this question. What is, if there is not it's not necessarily a cure, it just prevents you from getting it. So I don't know if that's the same thing or different thing or whatever, but there you go. All right, here's the one that Bear was seeing. Unfortunately, it was a gentleman that helped develop the, what do they call that? The mRNA sequence that they use in the vaccine. He was talking about these two treatments, talking about, and I hope I pronounced this right, ivermectin, and hydroxychloroquine. Let's see, content that recommends the use of ivermectin, or however you pronounce it, and hydroxychloroquine for the treatment of COVID-19. Well, why? If your doctor recommends it, why not? Again, this is something that Bear's not recommending or discouraging. Just if your doctor recommends it, go right ahead and use it. Why can't you? I don't see that there's a huge negative consequence for using that sort of stuff. Now, don't make it as a medical talisman that is going to prevent anything or anything like that. But hey, if it helps as far as a treatment, go right ahead and use it. Again, under medical advice. Claims that or hydroxychloroquine are effective treatments of Bear, I guess, just whatever your doctor says. Whatever your doctor says, that's fine. Other content that discourages people from consulting a medical professional or seeking medical advice. Please go consult a medical professional. In fact, Bear would say, consult too. I mean, because Dr. A might have something, and then you go to Dr. B, and he might say something just a little bit different. It's always good to have a second opinion there. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Let's see. Peabody says, I'm not as worried about the virus in bear areas than I am worried with the salmon population. There you go. Well, Bear's not going to comment on either of that, but if you do believe the wet market theory as opposed to what Bear believes is the accidental release theory, it was bats. It was not bear. I know there are bees in there, but it wasn't a bear. God, I hope they weren't eating bears. I tell you what, if they were eating bears, they deserve that. But anyways, it was bats instead of bears. So hopefully Bear will be okay. Peabody also says, so don't tell people to pray for a guaranteed fish cleaner cure. No, don't do that. Prevention misinformation. Content that promotes prevention methods. Blah, 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 promotes prevention methods that contradict local health authorities or maybe not or I don't know. The WHO. It goes on. It says claims that there is a guaranteed prevention method for the Wu flu. Well, I would say probably the vaccine. Maybe. Claims that any medication or vaccination is guaranteed prevention method for the Wu flu. Well, according to them, it's pretty gosh darn close. I wouldn't say it would be a guaranteed prevention method, but it would definitely, what was it, on the 80 to 90% scale effective there? So that's pretty close there. Content, going on, a content that recommends the use of imidazole and hydroxychloroquine for the prevention. Oh, we just read that. Claims that wearing a mask is dangerous or causes negative physical health effects. I apologize. Well, actually, let me see if I can find it here because it should be, where was it up here? I think, pardon me. This was the guy that, Robert W. Malone is the doctor that Bear kind of started off with. It was the one that, I believe it was YouTube and a couple other people that struck his video just because he was talking about mirdavincin and hydroxychloroquine there. So anyways, that's him. Let me see if I can find it here. Nope, not that. There we go. I need to refresh, though, because it will tell us. And this is from the Journal of American Medical Association, I think is JAMA. And he is waiting for it to load here. No close. I don't need that. Experimental assessment of carbon dioxide content in inhaled air, with or without face masks, in healthy children. And goes on and talks about a randomized clinical trial where they did actually check it out and found that, there were some issues there with the CO2 in your mask there and not being able to release that CO2. So you're kind of breathing that over and over again, and how it kind of, has an effect there. So YouTube, I'm not really sure. Talking about claims that masks do not claims that wearing a mask is dangerous. I'm not claiming that. Or causes negative physical health effects. Well, once again, I refer you to, not that one, the Journal of American Medical Association, which says, there might be some issues with that. The child with the lowest carbon dioxide level was a 3-fold greater than the limit of 0.02 by volume. So you don't want to have your children breathing in carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, whatever the case may be. He says this leads in turn to impairments attributable to hyper whatever, and a bunch of other stuff there as well. So if you want to check that out, it's the Journal of American Medical Association experimental assessment of carbon dioxide content in inhaled air with or without face masks in healthy children. So can we post this? Can we post this on you? It came after the date that YouTube has there, so maybe they haven't updated their stuff lately. So can we talk about this before it's approved or anyways, continuing on. Let's see. P Money says whenever people talk about the Who, the Doctor Who theme song is stuck in my head. And I think of the band The Who. Yow! I always think of, David Caruso taking off his glasses and yow! Which, okay, a side story for just a second. So they have the CSI Miami show with David Caruso taking off the glasses and everything. Bear always thought it was funny whenever they get done with the show and, they're out there, doing this, maybe having some drinks, and the sun is setting on the beach there, and they're just having a great time until you realize, well, wait a minute, they're filming this in Los Angeles because the beach is on the east side of Miami there, so that just wouldn't work at all. So I don't know. Yow! Anyways, that was that. Let's see. Miguel says, in this circle of medicine, healthcare, and evolutionary bio, there is a debate How beneficial is an antiseptic life? The body creates resistance by fighting and adapting. Nature is not clean at all. Bear can definitely attest to that. Yes, he can. All right. Where was he? Claims that masks do not play a role in preventing the contraction or transmission of the Wu flu. Well, then why are we required to wear them then? That doesn't make any sense at all, because if it's not, if it doesn't play a role in preventing it, then you shouldn't have to wear the mask. But if it does play a role, then I don't know. You should be able to. The whole thing with the mask, just very briefly, kind of like a screen door on a submarine. It doesn't really work. The whole thing has to do with an aerosol, so it's smaller particles. You can go and look. I should have brought it with me, but Bear actually has a N900 or N90 mask, the one with the little air filter on the thing there, or the air valve. Even on there, it says does not prevent viruses and all that sort of stuff. It's actually made for industrial use, chemicals and that sort of thing. So yeah, even on the 3M packaging, it says it doesn't do it. So yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Anyways, not saying that nobody should not wear masks. Bear just said, hey, why not take off the mask May 1st? And if the cases go up, then hey, we can say definitively that the masks do work. But everybody took it off, and it seems like the cases are going down. So take that as you will. Do not take medical advice from a bear. Claims about the the Wu flu vaccination that contradicts expert consensus from the WHO or the local health authorities. Claims that an approved Wu flu vaccine will cause death, infertility, miscarriage, autism, or the contraction of other infectious diseases. Claims that the approved Wu flu vaccine will contain substances that are not on the vaccine ingredient list, I guess. Let me take a quick drink. P-Money says, CSI Miami is not filmed in Florida. It's not a documentary. No. Not at all. But anyways, let me see. Go back to the claims that the approved Wu flu vaccine will cause death, infertility, miscarriage, autism, or contraction of other diseases. Well, here we go. Let's see. Let's just go down the list. Let's start with Canada. Canada says, Health Canada updates several Wu flu vaccine labels with warnings about certain health risks. Well, that can't be. Let's see. Let's continue on. Let's see. Let's go to, there was another one. Let me find it here. Well, let's just go ahead and do the CDC. The CDC. The Wu flu vast work group report. This is back on May 17th, 2021. It says basically concluded that there's relatively few reports of mitochondritis, which is, I believe, a heart issue or a blood issue there to date, and that these cases seem to occur predominantly in adolescents and young adults, more often than males than females, more often following dose number 2 than dose number 1, and typically within 4 days after your vaccination. So the CDC has some issues with that. Let's continue. The Jerusalem Post. Wu flu. Israel finds possible link between vaccine and mitochondria cases. There we are. Let's see. The findings have been transmitted to the Health Ministry Director General, Shizi Levy, as well as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and Pfizer. Let's see. It's about 1 in 100,000 people who received the vaccine suffered from mitochondria. There we go. An inflammation of the heart muscle. The preliminary report by the committee of experts tasked to the health ministry, blah, 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 they reported. So there you go. Leaked documents show that most cases were reported among young men aged 18 to 30. Total of 62 cases have occurred so far in the Israel area around the time of the vaccination. 56 of them after the second dose. Some 55 cases occurred among men. There you go. Let's continue. Here we are. National Vaccine Information Center. So this is the VARs that we're talking about. So, okay, we've got mitochondria, or the other one, perichondrias. I'm not sure what that is. So you take a look, and if you're younger than 3 years old, you only had one person. Not a big deal there, but you jump from 12, we're looking at 276, all the way up to 17 to 44, and you got 569. So between those two groups there, I mean, you're talking a good percentage. Dang it. 22 in the first case, 44 in the second case. So if you're between 12 and 44 years of old, you got to take a look. Is this going to be, you got to do the risk benefit thing. So, hey, I'm in that age bracket where it might be affecting me in a different way. But if you're in the age bracket that the disease, or the virus, I should say, causes the most damage. You're talking about people 65 and up and stuff like that. Actually, they don't have a very high count. So really, if you're in that sort of, I mean, even going up to 65 years old, actually, with 44 to 65, but really between 12 and 44 years, you got to take a look at that and say, hey, is it going to be a positive thing or a negative thing if we take it? So going back here to the Google thing, claims that an approved Wu flu vaccine will cause death, infertility, miscarriage, autism, or contraction of other diseases. Well, we definitely saw possibly some death, definitely some issues there with the mitochondria, or how you pronounce it, the heart tissue there. Didn't really see too much about infertility, miscarriage, or autism, but we weren't really looking for any of that. So let's see, what was that? 3-4 different places, local health authorities in those different places. They all have some issues with that. So are we allowed to talk about that on YouTube, or are we not allowed to talk about that on YouTube? I'm not really sure. Let's see. Claims that an approved Wu flu vaccine will contain substances or devices meant to track you or identify those who've received it. I don't know of anybody that's talking about that, so I don't know where that came from. It claims that an approved Wu flu vaccine will alter a person's genetic makeup. It doesn't do that. It does have a mRNA vaccine in there that does some interesting thing. But no, you're not going to get the vaccine and all of a sudden turn into the Hulk or something like that. That's not going to happen. Claims that the Wu flu vaccine do not reduce the risk of contracting the Wu flu. Well, then what's the point of the vaccine? I don't understand that. Claims that the Wu flu vaccine do not reduce the risk of contracting the Wu flu. So what's the point? What's the point? YouTube, you're contradicting yourself there. Claims that any vaccine causes contraction of the Wu flu. I don't know of anybody that's claiming that. That's kind of weird. Claims that a specific population will be required by any entity except for the government to take part in a vaccine trial or received the vaccine first. Let's see. Do I have that? Do I have that one? Let's see. Let me click. No, not that. Oh, by the way, here's another one from the UK that was talking about the same thing. So there you go, talking about bleeding, clotting, immune system, pain, neurological, involving sight, hearing loss, speech or smell, and pregnancy. Let me flow this down to the pregnancy since we were just talking about it. Let me see here. Let me see. Given that the vaccinated pregnant women comprise a small portion of the vaccinated population in the UK up to the 26th of May 2021, there appears to be a high number of pregnancy ADRs, 307, including one maternal death, 12 stillbirths, and one newborn death following a preterm birth, and 150 spontaneous abortions. We have submitted all this stuff. She's trying to, this is a report to somebody, so they're trying to talk to them. We submitted an FOI request to the cause of the maternal death, and we'll look into the pregnancy and congenital ADRs in more detail in our next report, and that was coming from the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency in the UK. So, what is that, 5 different ones there? So, anyways, okay, so that's that one. No, not that one. No, not that one. I must not have had that on here. Let's see, is this it? no, this is another CDC thing, but again, they kind of go over the same thing there, where they're talking about some issues that they're kind of taking a look at there. Let's see. Caregivers for these vaccines note that the vaccine recipients should seek medical attention right away if they have chest pain, shortness of breath, or feelings of having a fast beating, fluttering, or pounding heart after vaccination. Definitely don't want that. So again, YouTube, Google, we found some stuff there that is contradictory to what you're talking about here. A content that promotes the use of unapproved or homemade Wu flu vaccines. Well, just fire up the CRISPR and there you go. Just kind of cut some stuff there. Instructions to counterfeit vaccine certificates or offer sale for such documents. Well, once again, do not go to bearfakecertificates.com. Do not go there. Whatever you do not go to that site. Let's see. I'm sorry. Pimani says, you were in the age bracket. Oh my God. What's the age bracket in yours and Bear years? Well, Bear is 29. So there you go. Miguel. So that's why some report diseases in the face, skin, or respiratory infections. So that's why some report diseases in the face, skin, or respiratory infections. Yes, indeed. We don't need the vaccine for government to track our phones, do that for us already. That's true. Well, especially if you put in the contact tracing app. Definitely that. Definitely that one. All right, diagnostic misinformation. We're almost through. Diagnostic misinformation. Content that promotes diagnostic methods that contradict local health authorities or the WHO. Transmission, not the one that you find in your car. Misinformation. Content that promotes transmission misinformation that contradicts local health authorities or the WHO. Content that claims that the Wu flu is not caused by a viral infection. It is. I don't know why. Content that claims the Wu flu is not contagious. It is contagious. In fact, they're talking about the quote-unquote Delta variant. They got to make a scary name for it. Well, if you follow kind of virology, it's going to be more contagious, yes, but less deadly. So there you are. A content that claims that the Wu flu cannot spread in certain climates or geographies. Well, I'm not really sure how many Eskimos have come down with the Wu flu, so we need to. I would like to find that out. Content that claims that any group or individual has immunity to the virus or cannot transmit the virus. Well, if you've got the vaccine, or actually if you've had it, you're not transmitting it. I don't think. I mean, that's the whole point of the vaccine, I thought. Anyways. Social distancing and self-isolation misinformation. Content that disputes the efficacy of local health authorities or the WHO's guidelines on physical distancing or self-isolation methods used to reduce the transmission of the Wu flu. And that's content that denies the existence of the Wu flu. Denial that the Wu flu exists. Well, again, if you got into it early, you might have got your channel flagged because you were talking about it, and now can't say that it doesn't exist. I don't know what. Claims that people have not died or gotten sick from the Wu flu. Bear's not claiming that. Claims that the virus no longer exists or the pandemic is over. Well, the former Vice President Biden, I mean, he was talking about, we're winning the war, I suppose. So, I mean, nobody's saying it's over, but, we're hopefully getting to the point where it's opening up and stuff like that. Case in point, I mean, the Stanley Cup. They were packed in there, I mean, just yelling and screaming, and holy cow. It claims that the symptoms, death rates, or contagiousness, of the Wu flu are less severe or equally as severe as the common cold or the seasonal flu. And that goes back to what Miguel was saying. We've had a very few incidents of seasonal flu this past year, so. Take that as you were. Again, nobody's complaining. Bear is not talking about that. It's a bad disease, and you don't want to catch it. Definitely don't want to catch it, and it affects people in different ways. You can see totally healthy people, being taken down by it, and you can see, elderly or overweight people, come out just fine. It really is a very individual kind of thing. it affects people in different ways. So you really probably shouldn't, do a whole broad brush on that. I would agree with that. Claims that the symptoms of the Wu flu are never severe. We're not claiming that. All right, so here we go. Some examples of content that is not allowed on YouTube. So this is not allowed. I don't even know if I could talk about this because it's not allowed. Denial that the Wu flu exists. No, we're not doing that. Claims that people have not died from the Wu flu. No, we're not doing that. Claims that any vaccine is a guaranteed prevention method for the Wu flu. Well, the key thing there is any. So I don't know. The Wu flu vaccine, we hope, is a prevention method for the Wu flu, because otherwise, why would you be getting the jab? I'm not sure. Claims that a specific treatment or medicine is a guaranteed cure for the Wu flu. Well, nobody's doing that other than some sort of vaccination. Claims that hydroxychloroquine saves people from the Wu flu. Well, Bear would just kind of recommend that we go and look what happened over in India about a month ago. There was a big outbreak there, and one of the things that they used to treat was hydroxychloroquine. So take that anecdotal evidence as it were. Just take a look at that and see what comes out of that. So there you go. Promotion of MMS, the miracle mineral solution for the treatment. I have no idea what that is. Claims that certain people have immunity due to their race or nationality. Okay, sure. No, that doesn't happen. Encouraging taking home remedies instead of getting medical treatment when sick. Again, if you go to the hospital, they're going to say, "Thank you, sir. We're going to see how your symptoms come out in a couple of days. So please go home and, hopefully pray, and, have some soup or something like that." I think that's totally fine. Nobody's talking about, making your own medical facility in your house or anything like that. I think that'd be kind of weird. Discouraging people from consulting a medical professional if they're sick. Again, number 1, don't listen to Bear for medical advice. Number 2, consult your medical professional for advice. I think that's pretty obvious. Content that claims that holding your breath can be used as a diagnostic test for the Wu flu. I don't know. I don't even understand that. Videos alleging that if you avoid Asian food, you won't get the Wu flu. Well, no, eat Asian food for crying out loud. Bear does enjoy his sushi. Let's see. Videos alleging that setting off fireworks can clean the air of the virus and will prevent the spread of the virus. Well, there you go. We just had the 4th of July, so we should be... Bear kids. I don't understand where fireworks clean the air. That's kind of weird. Claims that the Wu flu is caused by radiation from 5G. There's radiation in 5G networks? Holy cow. Again, I don't know where that comes from. I've never even heard of that. That's kind of weird. The video is alleging that the Wu flu test is the cause of the virus. No, I don't think that. Claims that countries with hot climates will not experience the spread of the virus. Well, let's take a look. The Sahara Desert, or maybe Death Valley or something like that. Let's check it out. Maybe there is. Maybe bear with Bear for 1 second. I need to see if it looks like it's back. I think it's back. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Oh boy. I tell you what, they're coming after me. They're coming after Bear here. No, it looks good. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Let's see. I missed some of the chats here. I apologize. Let's see. We don't need the vaccine for government to track. Oh, I got that. For children under the age of 20, more children died of the flu. Well, I'll have to take your opinion on that, P Money. So I stopped holding my breath. Yes. Continue to breathe. Honey, I'm getting the fireworks to save the planet. There you go. All right, let's see. Where was I that I had? Let's see. Where was Bear? Let's see. Oh, self-isolation. Okay. Claims that wearing a mask causes oxygen levels to drop to dangerous levels. Well, once again, going back to our friends over here at the, not that one, the Journal of American Medical Association experimental assessment of carbon dioxide concentration in inhaled air with or without face mask in healthy children. Now, let's talk about healthy children, but there was another one. I think think it was this one. I hope this is the right one. Beer with beer. If not, this is going to be very, very bad. Let's see. They did the same thing in Germany. So they basically did the same thing with the nose covering on children. Says, hey, it might not be the best thing in the world to do. Trying to find the pull quote here. Let's see, saying that the frequency of the registry use of the spectrum of symptoms registered indicate the importance of the topic and a call for representative surveys, randomized controlled trials with various masks and a renewed risk-benefit assessment for the vulnerable group of children. Adults need to collectively reflect the circumstances under which they would be willing to take a residual risk upon themselves in favor of enabling children to have a higher quality of life without having to wear a mask. There you go. Even they say that, we need a little bit more study there. So let's see. With 25,000 children, so that's a pretty big. There you go. Anyways, they did the same thing there in Germany. So again, not that you should or shouldn't. There is a question about it. So claims that masks cause oxygen levels to drop to dangerous levels. We're looking into that. So is it that we can't claim that until we have the definitive proof? Or I would like to just be able to say, hey, that might be a question. Let's take a look at it. Claims that masks cause lung cancer or brain damage. Well, I would say possibly brain damage if you're not getting a whole lot of oxygen to your brain. I would say that. Claims that wearing a mask gives you the Wu flu. Well, if somebody that had the Wu flu was wearing a mask and then took it off and then gave it to you and you inhaled it and inhaled all the Wu flu particles there, yeah, it would probably give you one, but that was just kind of an isolated case there. Claims that the Wu flu vaccine will kill people who receive it. Well, it doesn't. That's not the intention of the vaccine. It's just a side effect of what happens. And we'll go back to the VAST here. Working group, May 17th, 2021, and also the, where was it here? Not that one. The other one where they're talking about the people that was the children. Oh, and let's see. And they're clarifying, they want to clarify the deaths of 438 people in England there. So, that's just deaths. I mean, we're talking about 13,000 bleeding, 856 were fatal. Holy cow. 24 fatalities of cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. That sounds pretty damaging there. So anyways, no, there is questions on that. There's not answers on it, but there's definitely questions on that. Claims that the Wu flu vaccine will be used as a means of population reduction. Well, I don't think, again, that is the purpose of it. But again, we have to go back to look at some of the studies where, there is some issues there. So that might be something to take a look at. Videos claiming that the Wu flu vaccine will contain fetal tissue. I don't know. We'll have to take a look. Don't know anything about that. Claims that the Wu flu vaccine causes contraction of the Wu flu. I don't know. Probably not. I would hope not. Claims that the Wu flu vaccine are not effective in preventing the spread of the Wu flu. Well, Bear would just go back to what you said previously. Where was it? Claims that any vaccine is a guaranteed prevention method for the Wu flu. And there was another one as well. I forget where, it's somewhere up there that just totally contradicted that. So again, we've got some contradictory things here on the things that you can't say. So is it both things that you can't say? Is it neither things you can? This is kind of weird for Bear. All right, let's see. Let's continue on. Where was he? Vaccine causes contraction of other infectious disease, or makes people more vulnerable to the contraction of other infectious diseases. Well, it depends. I mean, if there's an adverse reaction, you might actually have be vulnerable to it. I mean, again, that's a very, very loaded term there is vulnerable. So claims that the Wu flu vaccine contain a microchip or tracking device. We've kind of went over that. It claims that achieving herd immunity through natural infection is safer than vaccinating the population. Well, we don't know, but maybe we should go and ask, was it Sweden? Sweden, or maybe, what's the other one? Finland? They did the opposite of what people were doing there. This is, hey, maybe we can achieve herd immunity here. So let's use the science, hashtag believe the science, and figure out, hey, was it better that they did that through a natural infection, or was it better that they isolated and then vaccinated? That's a question for people. We're not claiming anything. I think that's a question. Claims that the Wu-Flu never causes serious symptoms or hospitalizations. Again, it depends on how high the viral load is. I mean, you can get a small viral load and it might not cause serious symptoms. You might get a huge viral load and it does cause a whole bunch of stuff in hospitalizations. So again, it depends. It claims that the death rate from the seasonal flu is higher than the death rate of the Wu-Flu. Well, we don't know, because evidently there was a huge drop in the seasonal flu death rate. So is that just coincidental? We don't know. We don't know. These are questions. Claims that people are immune to the virus based on their race. I don't think that's true at all. Claims that children cannot or do not contract the Wu-Flu. It is a very, 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 very small amount. That's small percentiles. And again, it's something that you would want to weigh the risks on. The risks we showed earlier, what was it, 12 to 22 or something like that? There's a higher risk factor in getting a vaccine compared to contracting the virus. So that's something that parents and doctors are going to have to weigh. We're not claiming one way or the other. We're just saying that might be an issue. I'm not claiming that they don't contract it. It's just very, very rare. Claims that there have not been cases or deaths in countries where cases or deaths have been confirmed by local health authorities or the WHO. Well, again, we kind of go back to some of this stuff. There was a kind of a anecdotal report of a guy dying of a motorcycle accident, and they found some Wu-Flu in his system. So, he died of the Wu-Flu. No, he died because his brain impacted the pavement. He just happened to have the Wu-Flu there. So I think that's kind of an issue there. Educational, documentary, scientific or artistic content. That's what we're doing here, artistic content. We may allow, I really appreciate you allowing, we may allow content that violates the misinformation policies noted on this page if that content includes context, that's what we're doing here, that gives equal or greater weight to the countervailing views from local health authorities or medical or scientific consensus. Once again, please go check out your doctor. Check out 2. Why not check out 3? We'll get to see what their answers are. And we'll get to see what all this science kind of comes out with. We're still kind of learning stuff. So Bear didn't do any countervailing views. We got a whole bunch of tabs open here. Didn't have any countervailing views. We're just kind of taking what YouTube says on face value there. We may also make exceptions if the purpose of the content is to condemn or dispute misinformation that violates our policies. Well, I don't know about the 5G radiation thing. That was kind of weird. I will condemn that. I think that's probably not true. And the context must appear in the images or audio of the video itself. I'm doing that right now. Providing it in the title or description is inefficient. Well, hope Bear doesn't violate anything there. What happens if your content this is the question, violates this policy? If your content violates this policy, we'll remove the content and send you an email to let you know. So I hope you guys are able to, Peabody says, I want my free Wi-Fi chip. I hope you guys are recording this, so just in case it does go out, you'll be able to hear Bear's opinion on this. If this is your first time violating our community guidelines, Bear has never got a violation of anything. So hopefully he'll get a warning with no penalty to your channel for just asking what the policy is on YouTube here. If it's not, we may issue a strike against your channel. And if you get 3 strikes, you're out of there for 90 days. Your channel, within 90 days, your channel will be terminated. Terminated. You can learn more, blah, 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 blah. We may also terminate your channel or account for repeated violations of the community guidelines, or TOS. We may also terminate your channel or account after a single case A severe abuse. Well, what is severe abuse? Or when the channel is dedicated to a policy violation. Well, Bear's channel is dedicated to comic books. He's just trying to figure out what can he talk about on YouTube and what's going to get him in some serious trouble. Don't want to have any serious trouble there, but this was not very helpful because a lot of this stuff was contradictory. So it was kind of you can't really say either or. So we're going to find out whether or not Bear is still on. Beer is still on the next time or not. Okay. No, it's not. Anyways, there it is. All right. Enough of that jibber jabber. Just wanted to kind of go through that because, there are some people that were taken down just because they were talking about the hydroxychloroquine and the other things there as well. So, just trying to figure out, it's a small channel. Bear's not telling you to go do anything there. So, let me get out of that and do the thing with the thing. And there we are. Go back to there. Some nice artwork from Mike Miller. Oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. I need to probably head out here. Let's see. For children under the age of 20, more children died of flu. Well, I don't know about that, but that's interesting. Okay. I read all that. Let's see. I want my free white chip. Nowhere on that list does it say you can't claim comic skaters are immune. Well, that's interesting. That is very interesting there. You might have something there, P-Money. You might have something there. All right. Well, once again, Bear actually started the channel or the video here a little bit early. Kind of had some stuff to do here, but definitely going to try and do it. Pardon me. Excuse me. Trying to do it back here on Wednesday. Trying to get back into the swing of things here. Do some fun stuff. Hopefully have the Mike Miller. What was it? The Gina Carano piece there. Be able to show for you guys and hopefully have a video up by then. So if you guys are enjoying the sort of HDR videos that Bear's doing, hey, let me know. Let me know about all that sort of stuff. And if you don't, you think it's a waste of time or something like that, it takes forever to upload those videos. Let me tell you. So if nobody's enjoying the HDR videos, just let Bear know. But anyways, let's see. P-Money says, take care, Bear. Well, thank you, P-Money. Yeah, I kind of gotta let things go here pretty quickly here. But do appreciate everybody stopping by, listening to Bear, kind of just rambling on about all sorts of different stuff here. So hope to be back here by Wednesday and pick back up where we left off. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, good to have everybody here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for Bear. And you know what? If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to Bear. We have a whole lot of fun here. Yes, we do. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Like you said, Bear's got to head back out. Go forward through the woods to find some food here. So once again, thanks, everybody, and take care. Grrrr!